Hey, everybody. Welcome back to John Versus. I appreciate you coming back, even though you know exactly what this show is about. We appreciate it. Hey, for the first time ever, I have a repeat guest. It is my good friend in the community, the other half of your Milwaukee Beers. You know what? Let's say your next multiplex singles champion, the virtuoso Will Cohen. How's it going?
It's going great. I found time to from all of the crazy studying and scheduling matches, everything like this, to sit down and watch something to what I thought was going to clear my mind. Instead, it filled my mind up with so many thoughts, and none of them are good.
You gave a very generous rating on Letterboxd to say for a movie that is this
So
stomach
I
churning and horrible.
so I knew you were going to bring this up, and so I actually had an answer prepared for this one. So for me on my letterbox, and this is the reason why I'm creating the show that I'm going to be creating here soon. It's actually harder for a movie to get like 1 star or below than it is to get a 4 star. Because
All right.
for it to get lower than like as low as 1 star or under, it not only has to be bad, but there has to be nefarious shit going on as well. And this one just does not have anything nefarious going on. It's just bad. It's bad to a level that annoys me, and we'll get into that reason a little bit later, which is why, like, I think I may have given Monster Portal 2 stars, which that movie was a big piece of shit.
No, I think you went way lower on that one, but
Did
whatever.
I? I don't think I.
We'll fact check during the show.
Fair enough.
If you clicked on the on the thumbnail, you know what we're reviewing. The box art is there. We're talking about either depending on where you're at. It's called Conjuring the Genie where we're at, but I know it's also called Evil Genie. And this is what the trailer looks like.
Look, I didn't believe it at first, but now I know it's real.
What can I do to prove to you that I'm committed to doing this?
I want you to write a paper on urban legends. Bring me something that has some life to it. Something that even the most cynical person might think this could be true.
You guys ever heard of the wishing demon? Some say you trap it within an object. When you release it, you get a wish.
Okay. We'll do it.
How much are you willing to lose for your friends?
I just want to know what we're getting ourselves into.
It will test you.
You gave us this curse, and I hope it was worth it.
So before we get into it, I just checked. I actually gave these two movies the exact same score.
Okay, fair enough. I knew it wasn't two. I didn't think you'd go that high, but for horror fans out there, and I do hope you're a horror fan if you watch this show. This movie is not necessarily a ripoff of Wishmaster, but it definitely it does the same thing so many other Jagged Edge movies do. I think it's trying to pay homage to certain things in Wishmaster, but it just comes off as like disrespectful. Like, not that Wishmaster was like a huge blockbuster. I think it went straight to video, or maybe it had a very limited release. It's definitely not eligible for trivia. But there's scenes that are like flat out lifted from like Wishmaster and put into this movie, just done in like the shittiest, most college movie way possible. What will your initial thoughts before I keep going?
So I saw what they were going for, like very early on, because I have eyes. And speaking of eyes, like the very first the very first time that we see the evil genie or djinn or whatever the hell you want to call this stupid ass thing, he makes someone do a wish, make a wish, and have them say, "Do you wish to never see me again? Wish it. I never wish to see you again." And he makes her stab herself in the eye with scissors. So to me, it's trying to spin the kind of like do the monkey's paw thing. You wish upon it, and then you get a weird version of it,
which is the plot to Wishmaster.
Which is the plot of Wishmaster, but at least Wishmaster is consistent.
Yes,
and it makes sense. Here, the rules are so ski-wampus. Like, I think only one of the wishes makes any kind of sense whatsoever.
I agree with that. I think, but just to jump back to the cold open where the girl stabs herself in the face, I think the true MVP of that scene is as usual, whenever she shows up in a Jagged Edge film, the mother, Kate Sanderson. I'm a parent, you're a parent. If I'm standing at the top of a staircase and my kid is about to stab themselves in the face with a pair of scissors, and all I have to do is literally run down the stairs and stop them, I definitely will not stand on the landing and just go like this, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" for like 5 minutes.
No. Genie, stop.
Like she had ample time to go down there and like smack the scissors out of her hands, but she just chooses not to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome to the world of Jagged Edge.
Yeah. The parents of Jagged Edge are easily the best examples of why we need to have written exams for parents before you take the kid home. Exactly. It's like, are you going to do everything you can to protect your kid? Yes. If you say no, obviously you're a parent in Jagged Edge.
Yeah, right. Let's jump right into like the worst, the absolute like worst thing this movie does, and it expands upon itself as the movie goes on. The genie itself, like many other Jagged Edge antagonists before and after this genie, like the Winnie the Pooh and Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, or Jack Frost and the Revenge of Jack Frost, it's a mask that does not have a mouth that moves. Yet we've given the antagonist tons of lines of dialogue.
Make your wish.
Where they speak through an immovable mask.
I mean, I remember scenes of Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey where, like, when he's like eating the honey, like the mouth at least moves a little. When he's eating, it's very minimal, but here it doesn't move at all. And at least in Blood and Honey, Pooh doesn't have any dialogue. I know that's going to change for the sequel.
He says a few things near the end of the movie, and throughout the movie he says a few things, and definitely when he confronts Christopher Robin, he says a few lines. But the mouth kind of moves, but it doesn't move like our mouths are moving.
No.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to change for the. I have a feeling that's going to change for the sequel.
Yeah, I've seen the concept art for part 2, and they're honestly, it may not even be bad enough to review on John Versus. Like they've like if Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey is like Jagged Edge turning a corner, and like they made people like me sit through like literally 4 years of shit, and now all of a sudden they're a legitimate studio, like. Well, kudos, you pulled the greatest long con in history. I'm down for it.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there, but you're right. Like, at least here, like, the genie is given so much dialogue.
Ready to make your wish.
A ton,
and it doesn't even look like and. First of all, the mask doesn't even look that sinister.
It's basically it's like you've seen the Joker have this kind of thing in the comic books. It's just the really it's the death rictus is pretty much what his mouth is, and it's just he's a little dude. He's a little dude.
It honestly looks like they took like one of the models of the Gremlins mask and just like took out the eyeballs essentially, didn't give it pupils. That's essentially what it looks like to me.
Yeah, I say it looks like one of the pinheads from American Horror Story, just like boiled.
Right.
Like you boiled a pinhead.
Yeah.
And then I think in the other major thing about this movie that bothers me, and it'll go on the very long list of things that Jagged Edge does not understand, is they are framing the genie, which is part of like ancient Middle Eastern folklore, as an urban legend.
I want you to write a paper on urban legends.
I think you're using that word. I do not think you know what it means. And then the professor wants the main character to write a paper on an urban legend, and instead of choosing an urban legend, it's a genie.
Well, this is what really amuses me, because there's actually a book that gets passed around. It's this shitty handwritten book. Full of like really bad sketches, and it has a bunch of monsters in it. But these aren't urban legends.
At the best, they're just folklore.
It's mythology.
It's cryptozoology.
Yeah, it's the general term for this is mythology.
Yeah,
not urban legends. And somehow they're looping in with urban legends, which honestly, let's be honest, by the time that they tried to convince you that this is your urban legends, you already don't care about what's going on in the movie. And this happens 20 minutes in to a 135 minute
as usual in these movies, there's just a ton of just like exposition that's unnecessary, like so much time in between things happening, just characters talking. And the urban legend piece is exacerbated by the fact that when this girl is doing research, she goes to this like wacky GeoCities looking website, complete with like fake shitty, like, adult oriented ads on the side of it, where it's like, if you're interested in the summoning genie, contact me at this email. And we're introduced to hipster urban legend genie summoner fellow in this movie.
As you know, and I'm going to refer. I didn't look up his. I don't remember his name, his character name, or anything like that. I'm just going to refer to him as Dime Store Chad Kroger, because that's exactly what he looks like to me. He looks like Dime Store Chad Kroger.
You must be Morgan. Nice to meet you.
It looks like he was originally hired for Nickelback, and he was fired immediately because he was too milquetoast. And when you're too milquetoast for Nickelback, that's saying something, and that's coming from a Nickelback fan.
Hey,
so
somebody's got to love him. Yeah, so it's hard to even like tackle everything that happens in this movie, because like I said, it is just watch Wishmaster, please. Just if you're into this concept, just watch Wishmaster. Just watch it. It's way better. And Wishmaster is not like a 5-star movie, but it's way better than this. This girl, what's her face? Morgan has a group of friends, because you need a total of 6 people to summon the genie, which is kind of like reminiscent of like, I don't know if you saw Blumhouse's Truth or Dare.
Yes.
This is like basically that, because you have this character, you have Dime Store Chad Kroger, who assembles these people and then basically like passes the curse onto them. I've seen that before too.
Right.
And then Morgan becomes like the bearer of the genie. She's the one that summoned, like, she's the ringleader, so she can't be harmed. But any of her friends that make wishes, it's going to be warped to the point of, they're going to get their wish. The first friend, I guess, wants to be pretty, and she's at a hairdresser, and the genie interrupts this hairdressing appointment to basically ask her what she wants, and she wants to be beautiful forever, basically.
No. Here's the one that really pissed me off. This is the one that royally pissed me off because of the phrasing. She wants to be seen as perfect.
Right. And as perfect, she turns her into like a ugly marionette, I guess.
What's happening to me?
Who does a shady version of the robot.
Now, dance.
And if you've seen Wishmaster, I don't know if it's Wishmaster or Wishmaster 2. I think it's the original Wishmaster. This scene is in that movie because the girl in that movie asks to be beautiful, and the djinn turns her into a mannequin.
I wish to be beautiful forever.
Pleasure doing business with
you. So like this is a complete like lift from that. I think you're right. I think it might be Wishmaster too. But like
but the thing that the thing that doesn't work is that the wording of it is just usually with these kind of films when I see one of these kind of films, I try not to get bogged down by the details too much because obviously if the filmmakers didn't care about these details, neither should I. But if you're going to make a morality play and make that morality weaponized, essentially, you need to be consistent. Why is turning her into a bleeding, crumbling doll perfect?
I have no idea. Do you know why? I think it's just because like their hair and makeup person, whoever they are, is just like, hey, I'm really good at doing this specific style of makeup. Can we work that into the movie? And they're like, you know what, Janice? Yeah, we'll work that into the movie. No problem.
Yeah, it's like we couldn't afford anything else, but we had that. We had this mask that clearly is a mask. Like all you have to do is use your peepers to know. Like you can actually see the mask like pretty much glued to her face.
It's like on Saturday Night Live when you can see the outline of the hair of like where they put the latex scalp on a person to make them bald. It's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
But like I think one of the I'm guessing whoever did the purchasing for this movie got a great deal because you got that djinn costume, and then you've got all the Universal monsters show up. There's a Wolfman, there's a mummy. So they got like a good deal on all these costumes. Like, what are we going to do with all these costumes? And we'll tell you, they work them all into the movie. You'll see. Because another one of the friends, she's got a boyfriend. She wants to keep that boyfriend. So she uses the genie to wish herself pregnant. And oh boy, did she get pregnant. However, it's not like a comfortable pregnancy, I guess, right? And she's going to have that baby. And then the genie shows back up, and I won't spoil it. Will, what funny play on words does this genie hit this lady with?
Oh, you get to be a mommy.
You're going to be a real life mummy now.
And he turns her into a mummy. Oh, how British and lame can you get? So then this lady, who's in every Sarah T. Cohen, I think, who's in every friggin' Jagged Edge movie, gets turned into a mummy. It's a mummy costume. So then she becomes just like a shambling mummy for the rest of the movie. Then another one of the friends who's like, he wants to be an athlete. He wants to make the sports team because they're at this weird community college, I guess. But getting on the sports team in the community college is paramount to the point that his mother tries to have an affair with an anthropology professor, I guess, is what he was. He's some kind of, I'm guessing he's like an anthropology professor because why else would you be teaching about urban legends and crap, unless you're maybe a sociology professor. He's in soft sciences. He's a soft sciences professor. The mother thinks by sleeping with this dude, she's going to get her son on a sports team at the college. Mom does not understand how anything works.
Not even if I...
Look, Kate, just because we're seeing each other doesn't mean that I can make special arrangements for him. The coach just says he's not quite up to it.
But so that fails. And then the genie comes to this kid. And he's like, what do you want? He's like, I want to be strong enough to get on the sports team. And how do you get strong, Will? How do you get strong?
By becoming a werewolf.
He turns this kid into a fucking werewolf. It's not even a werewolf because, like, I guess he changes. Like, normally in a good movie, you have like a cool transformation scene. We don't get this. He's just a dude, and then the next scene, he's in a shitty werewolf outfit, and he
is also doing the robot.
Yes, and he attacks the mother and the professor. So now we got a mummy, we got a werewolf running around, we got a marionette running around. The main character, however, has a more wholesome wish that the genie does not pervert. Her mother's alive, but her father has passed away. So she just wishes for her father to come back. And I'm going to do this one. The genie brings her father back to life. And her father apparently was also like the worst actor to ever live, because like all this dude does is walk around confused. Like, I can't even really like put into words what they were going for here. Like he knows he was dead. She knows he was dead. He's now alive. That's not much to process, really. It's like,
no,
he's not like a zombie. He's not. He looks like a regular ass dude, but it never gets past. Like, it never gets past the initial, what am I doing here? For the entirety of the rest of the movie.
And the thing, like, this is the other one that like it really pissed me off, because like they had an opportunity to do something. It's like, well, he came back, but like you could have done Pet Cemetery rules. Like, he came back, but now he wants to just randomly murder people. Like,
yeah, watch more Tales from the Crypt. They've done this same plot like 12 times, and they always nail it. You could have done that.
I mean, to be fair, like by this point, like, again, they're refusing to stay consistent, and they're refusing to take opportunities to be better and leaving them on the table. The pregnancy one is the one that like royally pissed me off, because if you're going to rip off a movie, you had aliens right there.
Right.
Come on, like something's growing in you, and come on, how great would it have been to see something burst from the chest? But then you realize they spent all their money on these shitty ass costumes, so obviously they couldn't do that. And the weird like CGI jet of blood at the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
So all the budget is just gone by this point. So they're just going with what they do.
The CGI making the genie's amulet glow, the CGI turning people's eyes black. That budget, they just ran through that budget so quickly. And then, I mean, we've kind of run through this movie pretty quick, but then just like how they wrap it all up is basically like some shitty or like original Nightmare on Elm Street type shit, where like, how do you beat the genie? Just tell him he's not fucking real and doesn't scare you, and just trap him back in his fucking amulet. That's it. That's all you got to do. It's like, it was like the quickest fix in the world. To beat this dude. Though there is a sequel.
I mean, to be fair, like at least this one ends, and most Jagged Edge films don't.
True, but they did make a sequel.
They did make a sequel. You are correct.
Everyone's happily ever after this one, though.
Yeah, sure. Like
except us.
Yeah, because although we get the last laugh because we get to kick it while it's down, and that's fun for me. But like, let's talk a moment about the performances. I know that performances in a Jagged Edge film are like contractually bad, but this one seems to take the cake. Like you have a lead who you have Morgan, who I don't know if they just put out an ad. Hey, do you look like Melissa Joan Hart? Can you be in our film? The entire time I kept thinking, you could have just gotten Melissa Joan Hart. I'm sure she wasn't busy.
True that.
But then at the same time, maybe they didn't want Melissa Joan Hart because Melissa Joan Hart projects. And I had to turn subtitles on to hear anything that she was saying. And that's bad. That, like, whenever you have to turn on subtitles to hear your main actress say shit, that's bad. The other thing that really like confused and irritated me about this, where is this supposed to take place?
Well, I'm guessing it's a Jagged Edge film. I'm guessing it's some area in London.
Here's but no two people have consistent accents.
That's normal.
And if it is London, why is some douchebag wearing a 49ers jersey?
I've got to go.
Because in recent years, the NFL has brought games to London. We've played games in Wembley Stadium, so I imagine he's just a big fan. He's a big fan of those ventures.
How recently was this, though? Because this film came out in 2021.
Oh, yeah, they've been doing NFL games there for a few years. So, but okay. I don't know. But yeah, who knows? People here wear soccer jerseys for teams in Europe, so it's just a fair trade. It's a fair trade.
Sure, I guess. But like, they just never explain anything, because I think that like at least in Sky Monster they lied and told you where it was, but they tell you.
Yeah.
At least with Monster Portal, they allude to where it is. They tell you where it is. Here, they just don't. Again, they don't care enough to tell you anything. They don't care enough about these details.
Right. This is an earlier, I guess, Jagged Edge movie. So they will care more. Now that they got that Winnie the Pooh money rolling in, they're going to care a lot more. But the one thing we have left to do today is, as usual, the champ, Louise Blues, has asked us if we don't want you to watch this movie. We're rewarding you off this movie. However, if you decide to watch this movie, you and your friends should get together and drink while you watch it. So. And I always let the guests go first. Will, if you had to instruct some poor folks on how they should watch this movie, what drinking game should they play along with it?
Well, first, before I get into the drinking game, I have a cocktail for this specific thing. Okay. So first, you need to grab something with some spice on it. I recommend Jones Hatch Chili and Lime. Why? Because if you mix this with anything, you instantly have 200% more spice than any of these milquetoast motherfuckers. What'd you mix with that? Gin, of course.
All right.
So you make yourself a nice little cocktail of that, and then you start this drinking game. Are you prepared?
I'm prepared.
Okay. Whenever someone, for some reason, has an American accent when they clearly shouldn't, you take a drink. Whenever your eye catches something bright fucking red, where you think that's going to come in play somehow, and they just completely ignore it, like the fucking red dress from Schindler's List, take a drink. Whenever someone pauses for longer than 3 seconds with no provocation whatsoever, take a drink. By the time that milk toast pound store Chad Kroger shows up, you should be pretty hammered by this point. But you're only 30 minutes into this film, so you must keep going. Whenever someone says the phrase urban legend, take a drink. Whenever someone starts doing the robot, take a drink. If you are still upright by this point, then you did not mix this drink strong enough.
Fair enough. You did cover a lot of ground. What I would say is, in a more like overarching sense, make that drink and then do all those things that Will said. However, whenever you see anything that has clearly been lifted from another movie you enjoy, take a drink. Like anything you've seen done better in any movie, but done in this movie as homage or just a friendly mistake, take a drink. With that being said, that'll wrap up John Versus for this week. Will, I think last time you were here, you told us where people can find you, but where can they find you? Just to remind everybody, where can they find you?
Anywhere where they host fun trivia matches. You'll currently find John and I over in Multiplex Entertainment, now both in Melee and in Fandom. Haha. Yeah. You'll find us over over in TLU that will be starting up sooner than later here, over on our new channel, Aaron the Dog and MMA
and movie trivia.
And then you will be seeing my show over on that channel, Yes Really with Will Cohen, where we get to skewer my Letterboxd. And John has actually made a request to be on that show because he is a subject matter expert in something, or we might do the one that I originally chose for him. We'll see which one we do, or maybe we do both because it's fun to make fun of me. So yeah, you can find me everywhere on the web. It's not that hard to find me.
So this is dropping Monday night. Monday night, you're watching Versus here on the Why We Love Horror channel. Thursday, myself, Abby, and Aaron are back with Why We Love Horror. We're reviewing Clear Mind, which is a VOD release that's been getting a lot of traction in the horror community. Apparently, it's pretty good. Tune in Thursday for that. And then Friday, planning to have another doubleheader in Why We Love Horror trivia. I believe we have the Black Sheep versus the Skeleton Crew in one of the matches, and I'm hoping to book this gentleman in a match that hopefully taped by then. If not, I might do a clips match and to throw that in there. Just stay tuned to the channel. We'll get it going. And then next Monday, back here again, Conjuring the Genie 2, and my guest will be Mr. Kirk Kolakowski. So that look forward to that next week. And until next time, this is John Versus. We appreciate you stopping by.